Every day, from the moment where I turn my alarm off to the moment where I make my last cup of tea of the day, I found myself to be using some kind of technology. So for today's video, I thought it'd be fun if we went and we took a closer look at all the different technology that I use within the space of 24 hours. I wake up around 6 AM every single day using the Apple bedtime feature, which I personally prefer over the alarm, as it has that sleep tracker which can be used to make sure that you're getting your full 7 hours. From here, I get up, grab myself a quick glass of water, and try not to touch any screens for the first half an hour of me being awake. This usually involves honestly just looking out my window, seeing what I can see in my garden. It's a really nice way to wake up, and if you haven't tried it, I honestly recommend you do. Once I'm fully awake, on video days, I generally take a shower, and I have to say, this shower with the temperature gauge on it is probably one of my favorite pieces of tech that I own. It's a really great way of making sure that you don't burn yourself or freeze, and while not absolutely necessary, it definitely is a fun feature. Now, complete honesty in this video, I usually spend far too long in the shower, so recently, I've actually started taking in this speaker, which is the BenQ Travelo S. I did a review of it a while back, but I've actually been using it to keep track of myself in the shower, so I'll listen to a song that I know really well, and because I know that song really well, I'll usually know how long it is, meaning that I don't spend too long in the shower. Granted, it's not waterproof, so I do have to leave it on the side, but honestly, that's not really that big of a deal. After my shower, it's time for breakfast, where I'll use even more, albeit simple, tech. Recently, I've moved away from using a coffee machine as I prefer to grind my beans manually, so for this, I'll need my grinder and my kettle. After breakfast, rain or shine, I always take my dog for a walk. Luckily today it was super nice, so we generally just had a great time. Okay, so the time is about 9 PM. I've just finished walking my dog. I've just given him a chewy stick. And right about now, in a typical day, is around the time when I would start working, usually. So, getting back from walking my dog kind of symbolizes the start of my workday. And for those of you who are regular viewers of this channel, this site may not be so unfamiliar to you. The first thing I usually do is I'll go and turn on my iMac. This is the machine that powers all of my videos. It does all of my editing. It's on pretty much all day, every day. And to symbolize this is this LED strip, and when the computer's on, the LED strip's on, which is actually kind of handy. This way, if I accidentally leave my iMac on at night, I always know when it's on. Also, it adds just a little bit of nice ambient light, because a lot of the time, the trees are blocking the sunlight in the office, so it is nice to get a little bit of extra light in here. Following on from this, we have my speakers, which are my PreSonus Eris 3.5s. Whenever I'm at my desk, I generally just use speakers. I don't really use headphones. This room's pretty soundproof, and these provide really nice, clean, crisp audio, so I can do all of my editing in this one space. After this, we have my keyboard. Now, usually this will be switched around between the Magic Keyboard or just a plethora of other mechanical keyboards, but recently I've really been enjoying the ANSI 60%. They actually sent it to me for review, and that is very much coming soon, but as of now, I'm using it as my main keyboard for testing. It's got hot swappable switches, Gateron blues, a removable braided cable, and of course, the RGB lighting. Gateron blues are pretty clicky, so I do have to be careful using this thing at night, but other than that, this keyboard is pretty much perfect. Next, we have the Apple mouse, which is not exactly my first choice, but considering I kept breaking all of my MX Masters, this is the mouse I'm using at the moment, as it's pretty much the only one I own. That said, it's not fair to completely rag on this mouse. There are some things that I like, such as the gestures. Those are pretty handy whenever I'm editing or just browsing the web. Also, the connection and the battery life on this thing are stellar, but that and the design quality are pretty much all the good things I have to say about this mouse. In the morning, I'll usually spend about 4 hours at my desk before stopping to have a break, and this 4 hours is generally a mix of everything from admin to editing to sound mixing. Everything that I do is done at this desk. Okay, time for lunch. Now, obviously at this point we're going to be using some kind of simple technology, but after I've made my lunch, I'll often go and watch TV. Ah, crap. I personally find TV to be a much more relaxing way of consuming media than browsing the web. This allows me to completely clear my mind between working and is generally a really healthy break. After this, I'll do another 4 hours of work at my desk, then I'll go and have another break. This could be going out as it was today, and usually I'll bring my phone and one of two sets of headphones, either my closed-back mixed cedar E9s, which I actually again got for review, or my AKG earbuds, depending on what I'm doing. This is a weird break. I've come food shopping and I'm looking for somewhere private to talk to the camera. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit lost. Came in here to buy food and now I'm in the middle of clothing. It's the biggest bag of pasta I've ever seen. At the risk of turning this into a vlog more than I already have done, they're finally doing something with the Toys R Us behind me that's been like closed for, I don't know, a year now? They're finally building something and I cannot wait to see what it is. Something I've started doing recently, for example, is I've started taking my dog for a second walk in the evenings. This walk involves no tech, just me, my dog, and the British countryside. Doing this, I've found my mind to be clearer, my health is better, my dog gets a second walk, and I sleep better at night. It's just super nice being out here, breathing in that fresh country air. It really is wonderful. Fast forwarding, this brings us late into the evening where I'm making my final cup of tea for the day. Obviously, I love coffee, but late at night, tea is just a nice thing to have. I don't really drink that much alcohol, so I suppose tea is replacing the alcohol that would otherwise be consumed. So why is this cup of tea so significant? Well, other than light switches, it's pretty much the last interaction I'll have with any piece of technology for the rest of the day. I thought since it's such a nice day, I might actually finish the rest of the video out here. Need a chair first though. So this brings us to the end of this 24-hour period, and something that I've really noticed is just how much tech that we use in our day-to-day lives. I want to preface this by saying I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, I just think that's the way the world is moving. Will I be reducing my technology usage after doing this experiment? No. However, one thing I will be reducing though is my screen time. One thing that I noticed while I was doing this experiment was from morning to night, I use screens a lot. iOS devices actually have a screen usage timer built in, and when I checked mine, it was a little ridiculous, in fact. Here I have my iPad and I have my screen recordings for the last 7 days. My average a day is about 4 hours, which isn't too bad, but that's only for this iPad. Over the last week, I've spent 16 hours and 21 minutes on entertainment, 6 hours and 55 minutes on games. I blame Coffee Corp for that, that's a super fun game, and 22 minutes on social networking, which honestly isn't that bad. Then again, most of that gets done on my phone, and if I saw my phone, I definitely think I would see a much higher number. So over the next week, I'm gonna try something else. Over the next 7 days, I'm gonna monitor my screen timings and see if I can get it down to 2 hours per day. Obviously, this doesn't factor in the actual work that I'm doing on my computer, but anything non-work, I'm not allowed to spend over 2 hours a day on screens. Okay, so thank you for watching. Remember to like the video. If you want to see more content like this, then do consider smacking that big red button. I'm done for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. You stupid bird. Birds. This is going to be like a blooper at the end, probably. Before it was sheep, then it was a dog. Pretty nice sound when you're not trying to record.